Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. With great features such as automatic distribution to popular podcasting platforms and in-app recording and editing, Anchor has definitely proven to be the easiest solution to starting your own podcast. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join us and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We'll see you out there.
CollegeFBlive is your boy Eddie.
This is your boy Josh.
And your boy Obed.
Can't forget about our boy Orlando.
Hey, we're all boys here.
Orlando makes this all possible.
He's the producer. He won't say shit. Hey, but he keeps this thing running, so we gotta fuck with the boy. But so we're right here on a Friday, December 21st, a couple days before Christmas. Merry Christmas to all.
What do you guys want?
If you guys celebrate Christmas, I don't know what y'all celebrate, but shit. I hope
Merry
you have
Christmas.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So we're out here. It's been a long week. College football, recruiting,
Traveling
North Carolina.
All that shit. Yeah. So Ed just came back from North Carolina. Ed, so, how was that shit?
It was nice, man. It was nice for sure.
Good to get away.
Relieving.
I bet, bro. School's tough, work's tough. Good to get a little vacation. What about you, Josh? What you been up to?
Work, nothing but work. Now that school's done for the semester, I've just been working more.
Racking down money, that's what you've been doing.
Trying to get some more money before go back into school next semester, and I spent a bunch of money on holiday presents. So
So what you get some holiday presents?
That.
What you got for your lady, bro?
I got her some stuff.
Come on, bro. She's not gonna listen to this. What'd you get her, bro?
Well, she really likes this one makeup company called Arbonne, and I bought her a bunch of stuff from there. She loves it. So.
Girls love makeup.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
I hear that. What about you, Ed? You get your lady or your family anything specific?
No comment, man. I haven't bought anything for
What,
my girl,
bro?
so I gotta go do that.
Shit. That boy.
Hey, I've been on vacation now,
Bro,
boys.
me, I've been chilling, bro. This past week, school's been out. I've been working up in a different city, so I've just been back home. Just been chilling. Honestly, been playing a shit ton of Fortnite. I'm still trash. I'm still trash, but I still play because that shit's fun. A little FIFA here and there. Done some Christmas shopping too. Luckily, I don't have a girlfriend this winter break.
This man said luckily.
So I ain't gotta spend no money.
Yeah, you don't, bro. Save that money up. Go to Atlanta. Go to some bowl games.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I got my parents some shit. I know I got my dad some new sandals that he wanted.
I got my parents
got
stuff.
some clothes, just a little crap here and there, necessities. I got my mom. Just gave her money because you can never please women, bro. You buy her something that she wants, and the next day she's like, oh no, I wasn't vibing with that one. So I just gave her some money, little things here and there. So hopefully that'll suffice for her. Bought myself a pair of J's. That's what I did.
Merry Christmas to myself.
Merry Christmas to myself. I got myself some J's, and that's about it.
Bro, I haven't bought shit since 1948, man.
Yeah,
I'm over here saving up.
I'm out here on a budget, bro. I ain't even working, so I'm just living, not even paycheck to paycheck. I'm living off
spending all your money on V-Bucks.
On V-Bucks. Yeah. Cash at me at $5, trying to get a new skin. No, I'm just kidding. But I've just been chilling, bro. Just watching sports and shit.
Yeah, all these bowl games.
I've been watching bowl games.
NFL's been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the AFC race hella tight. I don't know. Just been chilling. It's been a good vacation break, actually, a good true vacation break.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. Let's get right into it. So, big football weekend, huh? Well, big football week.
Big football week for sure. We had the first couple bowl games and recruiting. Pretty much half that shit's done. Most of the people signed on Wednesday, that 72-hour period. Where do you want to start with that? Florida. I'm going to start off with Florida. Fuck it. Florida had a pretty solid recruiting. They got the 3 boys from Lakeland. That pipe starting up again, and hopefully we can get Bowman next year. But definitely big gets at O-line, defense, and a tight end that is looking like he's going to be very, very promising.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, and there's still the next signing day too. That's Gators could get some really big pickups like Chris Steele and Elam. Those would be huge.
Yeah, I think we'll find out about Steele at his game, his Army game.
It's January 5th. Yeah. He's going to be
announcing
it, but he already signed his NLI.
He did? Oh, yeah. I heard,
silently.
Yeah, I heard that he was very nervous actually about signing because I didn't know if...
Yeah, so he'll be an early enrollee.
Early enrollee for sure.
Yeah.
So hopefully if we get Chris Steele, that shit will be a big get, especially because, I mean, this is a real DBU UF, so...
You hear that, Seabass? A real DBU.
Yeah, that's out to all those FSU fans who think y'all DBU.
Oh, and like this is for you, Seabass, too. You calling me crazy, and I was drunk for saying Sam Howell was going to sign with UNC. But guess what happened, young buck?
Hey,
he signed.
That's a good segue there right there. Let's go ahead to Florida State right now. Florida State, I think, actually had a really good recruiting class, taking everything in consideration. Mm-hmm. They took a hard L right now that they don't have a quarterback. I know right now they're looking at getting a transfer from Louisville. They're looking at obviously going after Fields. And they're going after another 4-star dual threat quarterback. Don't really know his name. Haven't heard too much about him. But I think it was kind of like shitty that they lost Sam Howell, just because this guy's been committed since the beginning of the year. He's been all FSU. He hasn't been really advocating FSU this, FSU that. But everyone knew that that's where he was at. And that's when they lost Bell. If he had went to UNC, he would have definitely went to UNC. Everybody knew that. But he kind of went to a smaller school. So no one knew what Sam Howell was doing up until this day on Wednesday. And he chose UNC, which kind of fucked FSU just because they don't have a quarterback. 2 cycles in a row right now, no quarterback. I mean, that was a big get for who he was. There, people compared him to Tim Tebow sometimes. Big body, could run the ball, and he could obviously throw it. So, I don't know. But defensively, FSU definitely went strong. Outside linebackers were really, really good. They had a couple signees at safety and corner. Obviously, Akeem Dent's still on the border. No one knows about him. But, I think defensively they're solid. Offense, O-line, they got Dante Lucas. That's a good get for them. But, he's not a plug-and-play type of player. And you can't really plug-and-play at O-line anyways.
No, sir.
So FSU defensively great, offensively, I mean, without a quarterback you can't really do much. But
we would know.
See.
Yeah, we would know.
As Florida fans.
Florida fans here.
But the Noles are at the 14th ranked class according to 247. So I mean, for having a horrible year where you haven't made a bowl game in the first time in forever.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'm pretty surprised that they actually have this good of a class. Just because of that simple fact. I mean, but a lot of guys I see on here were a lot higher stars at the beginning of the year, though, and they dropped. But, I mean, they still stayed. I'm surprised FSU stayed with them, but I think they just need all the help they can get at this point.
I think that's actually kind of funny because you see FSU Twitter, 4-star, we got a 4-star this, 4-star that. And you look at their thing, and I'm like, hold up, 247 says 3-star.
Right.
So, I mean, I respect Willie for, keeping with these recruits, even though they went down. But at the same time, he really can't do much about that because he's in no position. He's in no position.
He can get right now.
Yeah, he can get whatever he can get. This man's on, probably on campus asking for any backup quarterback that's playing the spring game because right now, it's just gonna be Blackman. Francois saying, "I'm out this bitch."
Yeah.
Straight up because there's no O-line to get him and keep him healthy. And honestly, that's why I think that'll be FSU's downfall. I think Justin Fields would go there if they had an average O-line. Mm-hmm. He didn't go to FSU to begin with because his family wanted him to be in a place where he's protected. Sure. Georgia has a good O-line, and Georgia was, were national champions in the national championship, And so I think, he thought that program was going in a better direction, and they had a better O-line. That's a big reason why he went to Georgia. And I think that's the reason why he won't go to FSU again. There's no O-line stability. I mean, as of today, this is Friday, the 21st, and there's no offensive coordinator.
It's been 2 weeks already.
2 weeks. I mean, that shit's beyond me because It's an offensive coordinator. Yeah, like it's FSU. Like this is a job people are supposed to want, especially on a down year like this, to go ahead and be there and show that, hey, I'm a good offensive coordinator. Be there for a couple of seasons, get a big job, kind of like what happens at Alabama every year. But for some reason, they just haven't been able to get that hire. I understand the Kendall Briles situation. If Kendall Briles is the coach, I really don't know what the heck Willie's doing, just because what I've been hearing is that if they do sign Kendall Briles, they have already agreed to this, but Willie is allowing Kendall to finish out his recruiting class in Houston. Yeah, so they wanted to get past the recruiting day if they were going to get Briles. So to me, it shows me that Houston has, like, you know, all the marbles with them, and they're kind of holding FSU at hostage, like, if they even get Briles.
Right.
And if they do get Briles, to me, that doesn't do any good for FSU at this point, because all the recruits have pretty much signed.
Yeah.
And having no stability at OC, and he
hurts him.
And he just let, like, I just don't get how you let somebody else recruit for another school,
right,
knowing they're going to come to
you.
And
if they're coming, why would they still help out Houston? Like, why would he still help out Houston if he's coming there anyway?
But this has been showing since he got there.
Yeah.
He couldn't sign the first few coaches that he wanted. He always got the 6th, 7th option. Offensive line, defensive coordinator.
Was he like a 6th or 7th option too?
Well, Willie was a popular option because of what he did at USF.
Right.
And how he started at Oregon, because he was like 5-0 until he lost his quarterback.
Yeah, and so he was doing pretty good, and he's a great recruiter, fantastic recruiter. I mean, I think.
Well, is he?
I think he is. Listen. I think people like him, he's for the culture, and he's a cool. Like, I feel like he's a personal person, you know, to the players. Like, he means something to the players as a person. Yeah. Now he's at big FSU. He didn't get put in the best situation, but neither Dan Mullen, just to give a perspective. Look what Dan Mullen did. So it's kind of hard to say that, but I think he's still a good recruiter. The fact that he even has FSU where they're at right now, just based off pretty much defensive recruits that are all 4, and Akeem Dent, 5 stars right now committed. I think that shows that he is a good recruiter, and that he even keeps people interested of how bad FSU's been. Kind of speaks to him as a recruiter. What hasn't been able to close on, though, is an offense, which is that's tough. You can't close on a quarterback in 2 years.
Which is weird, because he was brought in to be offensive, because he's known as an offensive guru, and, you know, evolving quarterbacks and all these things. But he's missing 2 quarterbacks in past 2 seasons. So it's kind of
I don't know. And, like, is Blackman your guy? Like, if he thinks Blackman's his guy, I don't see. Okay. There's no urgency. We all know Francois is probably going to be on. If he stays, that'd probably be the biggest shot at FSU, and probably for his career. I don't know why he would stay, but if you think Blackman's your guy, which I don't think anybody does think Blackman's the guy, why aren't you being more urgent? There's no sense of urgency, which is kind of scary. If I was an FSU fan, like, why is he not pressing, or why is he not being out there? He's not showing really face. When you see other coaches, their face is out there, and they're like, I'm in charge here. This is what I want. I don't know. He's been kind of like in the shadows, which is weird as a head coach.
And they have 4 4-stars, and then Akeem Dent, the 5-star, as commit still. They didn't sign for the early signing day. So, but they're all defense. So, I mean, that still doesn't help your offensive needs. But if they get all 5 of these guys, their defense is going to be stacked like always.
Yeah, defense is going to be good, but offense is not going to do anything. So they're going to be
like Florida.
They're going to be like Florida
5 years
post
ago.
Tebow era.
Yeah.
Past 5 years, no freaking offense, no defense. I mean, good defense, and then they run all over us in the fourth quarter because they're always out there.
The 2 guys that FSU did sign were not even nationally ranked.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guards.
Yeah, 1 guard and then a defensive tackle from Carroll City, Miami.
Wow, yeah.
And they're also looking at, I know they were looking at some transfers from JUCO, which you won't see that in the 247 just because they're going to be juniors or upcoming sophomores, depending on what year they transfer from.
Now, the last thing I got to say about FSU is that I saw some ridiculous freaking tweet from some FSU fan saying that the reason why white players aren't going to FSU is because there's nobody that they can relate to. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in the past year. Like, that's just ridiculous. Why would you say that?
Yeah, I mean,
just because they recruited all black people, or they have all black coaches, like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get why people. Now this is where, like, it's starting to get a little personal, not business. I just stick to the sport. I don't care. The race doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Florida State's a big university no matter what.
Yeah.
Like it's still awesome to go play for
FSU,
a college that big.
That
has nothing to do
prestige
with anything else.
And the only reason they said that's when Sam Howell flipped.
Right.
They were having a problem with anybody until he flipped.
Right.
Just don't. But
if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it. Please, Jesus. Yeah, but we go around back to keep it in Florida. Miami's suffering. Boy, they're suffering.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry for your team, bro. But your team is struggling. I think they're ranked in the 30th?
33.
33.
Last I heard that they had a 4-star recruit from last year that wanted to transfer. Then today on Friday, I hear that they were able to retain him. So who knows?
Wow.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't think why it mattered that much because I thought Nkosi Perry would be the starter next year anyways. Malik Reserve should be gone. I didn't know too much about that 4-star, but I mean, him leaving obviously hurts your competition if he decides to leave. I think he did put his name in portal. Portal is what the players are using now to test, I guess, kind of like their free agency in college football. Then, yeah, they're just missing out on everything. Offense, defense. I mean, they lost Tarkin to Florida last week. He was a big offensive line recruit.
They lost two.
They lost offensive tackle and a guard.
I think it's
to
like Kingsley
Florida.
or something
Kingsley.
like that. Yeah, I think that's who it was.
So they're just looking a little bit rough, and that's just...
They didn't do good this year, though. I mean, Rick was supposed to be like the savior of Miami.
Right,
and
but...
they did good like the first year. Didn't he do pretty good in the beginning? And then this year it's just like...
He did okay the first year, then he did really good last year, and then this is third year. He then went 7-5.
Fell off.
But they're ranked 33rd in recruiting.
Right.
Granted, we still have 2 months until we move on. But still, I don't think, how much can you improve with people already signed to other schools?
And up until Tuesday, they were very, very high on Jaden Hazelwood, excuse me.
He's going to Oklahoma.
He's going to Oklahoma. But
I mean, that's my prediction.
That's what. Yeah, he's probably going to Oklahoma. I just don't see him going to Miami. They don't really have a quarterback. There's been some issues in the locker room with the coaches and players. That's why you're seeing people leave already. So I think he'll go to Oklahoma. That's a big loss. He's the number 1 receiver in this 2019 class.
And talking about QB leaving, let's talk about Georgia. Justin Fields, gone after 1 year. I personally think that he kind of did that to himself. Like, what's the quarterback there right now? He proved himself. He took him to a national championship. They were winning the whole game until the last second when they went to overtime and all that. Mm-hmm. Why would you choose to go there? Like, they already have a 5-star quarterback panning out, playing great his freshman year, and you choose to go there when there's other schools that were begging you to come?
I mean, I thought that he could compete with him and probably win the job, and maybe Kirby sold him something that just wasn't true, or maybe Kirby played himself. Maybe Kirby thought that he was the player that could beat him, and I think he played himself just because. I mean, this guy's playing too good. He could have led you to another playoff.
Easily,
berth
he had a pretty good
if they would have won, the SEC championship. So that would have been 2 years in a row. Like, you can't not start that guy, and then he has one more year before he goes to the NFL. And so I think he either Kirby sold a lie or he played himself. But Justin Fields, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking either. He could have came to Florida. He could have gone to FSU, been the guy, either one of those schools, like off rip.
He could have gone to a lot of
schools and been that guy. And
Penn State was another big one.
I think he kind of screwed himself. Because now, like, what's he going to do? He was going to go to Oklahoma, but Oklahoma just...
He got the number 1 QB.
She got the number 1 QB. So, do you want to compete again? I mean, you're not going to go anywhere ACC or SEC because...
Kirby's going to block it.
He's going to block it to not allow him to play. He's going to go to Ohio State. Is probably his best bet right now. I think so.
Personally,
yeah.
They got Tate Martell or whatever his name is. I mean...
I've heard good things from him, from Ohio State fans, but I don't think he's going to be better than... I think Justin Fields has a really great future. He just needs somewhere where he can settle down and develop as a QB.
I also thought he might be maybe could have did what Fromm did, because remember Fromm and wasn't it him and Eason came in at the same time?
Jacob Eason.
And Eason was a 5-star. I think it was
not at the same time. Jacob Eason came the season before.
Yeah, but Eason got hurt.
Yeah, and then Fromm took his job.
That's
so Eason transferred.
That's the only way I thought that Fields would play is if the same thing happened.
He probably maybe was kind of hoping that if he's like, okay, instant start, if I can't beat him out, then maybe he'll get hurt because SEC football quarterbacks are getting nailed all the time, hurt all the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and he probably was just waiting for a spot and it just never came. And so he said, instead of waiting longer, might as well just get out of here now.
But it almost looked like he was never ready to play though, because if you watch Georgia and you watch this, not even series, because he was never really in a series. He come in for a couple plays, and it almost looked forced. Like there was no continuity to it. There was
it's all
just
scripted.
There was just like, all right, we're gonna put him in now just so he can play. Mm-hmm. You know, comes in at the end of the game, finish it off, yeah. Mm-hmm. But like then you see him in the SEC championship, you put him in on the 4th and whatever to
4th and 13 on a punt. That's not
obvious. Like come on, he doesn't need to be in those positions to begin with, in my opinion. But I don't know. I just think it's the way people are recruited, and I think eventually that might be what kind of bites Kirby in the butt. If Kirby keeps selling these, you know, I don't know how he's recruiting people, but if he's not doing it the way Nick Saban is, he's going to get in a lot of trouble with these recruits. He's going to want to transfer just because Nick Saban, you know, I saw this Wednesday on early signing day. One recruit decided to go to Alabama, and you know, they asked him, hey, why'd you want to go to Alabama? And he said, it was Evan Neal. He said, I chose Alabama just because Nick Saban said he believes in me, that I can compete. And if I believe in myself that I can compete, then I should go to Alabama. If not, it's no worries. You can go to another college and be great. And I don't think Kirby Smart's saying that. I think Kirby Smart's telling, okay, if you come in, you're a 5-star, you're going to be a starter. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that could be what screws him in the end, as opposed to, you know, being up front, like, hey, it's Alabama, you're going to compete. And we believe that you can compete, so that's why we're offering you a scholarship. Mm-hmm. If not, don't come. Like, trust me, we'll find somebody else. And so I think that's why there's so much maturity in Alabama, where you see these running backs come out of nowhere, out of the woodwork, and just be great.
Ball out. But but Georgia does have them good running backs.
They have good running backs, but running backs was just, you know, it was just an example. Just like Damian Harris wasn't a big name, you know. He was behind Bo Scarborough, name-wise, and then he comes out and is better than Bo Scarborough. Mm-hmm. So it's more like everyone here is great. You got to distinguish yourself. You're going to play, as opposed to if you're a 5-star, you're going to play. I don't know. And
there's always 5-stars backing up 5-stars at Alabama. Like most of those D linemen, they don't play until like their 3rd or 4th year, and they play 1 year and it's done, and that's it. And they go to the NFL.
They go to the NFL. So and I think that's what Kirby's trying to do.
Right, make that like backups behind backups. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, eventually, if you're a 5-star, you want to go play.
Right.
You've been proving yourself in high school, and you're going to a school to go play. If you're not playing until the 3rd year and you sold them all these fake dreams and promises, people are going to get tired. I mean, it's easily shown by Justin Fields. He's a great quarterback coming out of high school, and if you, you know,
the toughest thing about Justin Fields' thing is the quarterback. There's only one quarterback on every team.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem. You could look at D-line. I mean, you're rotating anywhere between 6, 7, 8 guys, depending on how good and how much depth your team has. You're rotating 6, 7, 8 guys. At defensive back, you're rotating between the top 2 corners, a nickel, a dime. You know, you can get in your PT at some point and, you know, work your way into those top 2 guys. So from there, you'd be rotating about 6 guys, depending on the type of defense you play. Same thing with linebacker, you're rotating 4 guys. So you don't have to be that number 1 guy coming in. But if you don't know, if you think you're that number 1 guy coming in as a quarterback, and then you have to sit there and not be that number 1 guy, that's tough. That's tough, especially when it comes to evaluating. You have to have a good chunk to evaluate a quarterback. And obviously all these guys want to do is go to the NFL.
And Trevor Lawrence beat out Kelly Bryant, though.
He did.
And Kelly Bryant had to transfer because Trevor Lawrence beat him out. I mean, so maybe Justin Fields was kind of hoping for the same thing that Trevor Lawrence did.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
But I think it was obvious.
Jake Fromm is Jake Fromm.
So you're saying Jake Fromm is better than Kelly Bryant, or are you saying...
Yes. That's what, as a quarterback. I think Kelly Bryant... I mean, he was at Clemson for a reason, but Kelly Bryant didn't start until his junior year.
Sean Watson.
And he is good. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's Clemson. Like, he's not going to win you a championship.
Right.
Unless your defense is just like...
You think he'll be good at Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he'll be good. Well, it's kind of funny because Missouri just now is going to get another transfer quarterback.
Oh, wow.
They got 2, one from TCU. And then I don't really remember his name.
And Kelly
Bryant.
So, I mean, we'll see if Kelly Bryant even plays, depending on how good this TCU guy is.
Watch out for Missouri this year.
I mean,
they're all right. They're just...
They killed us.
But they had Drew Lock, and they still...
Drew Lock
is that dude, though.
Yeah.
He can throw that thing.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think Missouri is just going to be in a position where you're kind of screwed right now because you got to play Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU. Like these are.
Wait, Missouri? They're in the East.
You're right. I'm tripping. Yeah. But they still got to play all these teams in the SEC.
I think the East is just getting deeper, honestly, because Florida eventually is going to be back. Georgia is a monster right now. And then South Carolina, they play tough every game. You have to watch out for them. Yeah. And Tennessee, well,
what do you think?
They'll go right.
They've actually gotten some pretty decent.
Well, they beat the hell out of Auburn. So
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee has a better class than us right now, actually.
They have got a couple old linemen that are really.
Yeah. They always get good old linemen.
Good old linemen and good running back.
So Tennessee might be, building up. The only really school in the East that's in the bottom is Vandy, and they always play you tough.
But Vandy's in a bowl game this year, so
that's what I'm saying.
So I mean, we're talking about SEC bottom feeders, but these aren't your bottom feeders at other conferences.
Do you think
you hear that, Seabass? Seabass, do you hear that? Okay.
Do you think Kentucky's going to go back to how Kentucky used to be, or do you think they're going to stay at this level? Because, I mean, they lost Snell, right?
What is the recruiting class?
I have no clue. But I know Snell's leaving, and that was their main person, main athlete. He's carrying them. But I don't know what the recruiting class looks like.
But, I mean, they do get the quarterback back. He had a decent year, and he's going to develop more. Yeah. I think Kentucky... they keep being a decent team. I don't think they're going to win the East.
Right. You think they're like top 3 in the East?
Top 3 in the East. Mm-hmm. Did you hear what South Carolina coach said? He said he doesn't care if it's a 4-man team or an 8-man team. I mean, 8-man team, sorry. a 4-team playoffs or an 8-team playoffs. He doesn't care that they're going to be there. He guaranteed that. And I was like, yo, that's a big... that's a big promise right there, Muschamp.
So this coming up here?
I don't know what. I believe so.
Oh, wow.
I believe so. So that's saying a lot of what he thinks of his team. I mean, he does have a great recruiting class coming in. He has, I think, a couple of 5 stars at D tackle. We always know that Muschamp can recruit. Yeah. That was not his problem. He can coach defense. His problem is on the offensive side of the ball.
Right. Yeah, Kentucky didn't have. I mean, Kentucky's in the 30s, like bottom 31.
Really? Bottom of even after this year? Wow.
Yeah. Bottom of the SEC right now, 12th. They got Jared Casey, inside linebacker. Pretty much defense is what they got, which is kind of what helped them out. I mean, they weren't great offensively besides Snell. So, I mean, they're going to have a solid defense again. Got some good linebackers, defensive and outside linebackers, and safeties. They got really strong safeties this year. So, I think
they'll be okay.
They'll definitely compete. I think they're heading in the right direction. Let's just see let's see how much he can develop what he has now offensively and what running back he can groom to be the next Snell, I guess, be a good running back. Didn't have to be Snell, just has to be able to run the ball effectively, get first downs, pretty much keep the other team's offense off the field.
Speaking of running backs, Trey Sanders.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing for Florida fans. We really think that
and Georgia fans. I mean, Georgia fans thought that they were going to have him more than Florida fans. I mean, we were wishful thinking, let's be honest. But Georgia, I thought he was going to go to Georgia possibly, but it's between Georgia and Alabama for me.
I knew he was going to go, or let me say this: Evan Neal and Ham were going to go to the same school. I knew that. Mm-hmm. The only reason why I was wishful thinking was because Evan Neal had us on his top 4, top 5, but he barely visited us. He barely came here, so I was like, they're going to go to the same school, so that's either Georgia or Alabama. Mm-hmm. They both went to Alabama.
And we have Sanders' brother on the team.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that
his mom loves Florida.
Yeah, his mom loves Florida, but...
At the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you.
Right.
I mean, if
that's what you think is best. It's Alabama.
It's kind of hard to not say that you don't think Alabama's best for you. And
right.
With all that comes with
They're not really that deep at running back, are they?
They're like...
They get 22 back.
Yeah.
He was very good playing time, and they had another one that they got last year. But he said he promised. Not promised. He said that he wants to win the Heisman.
Yeah, he says he's going to win the Heisman.
So I don't know.
We'll see how much they run the ball and if he splits carries.
But that sucks though, because Alabama always has like a beast running back.
But I think that's part of the reason why he went to Alabama, because there's no true yes, Damian Harris is good, and like you said,
they're committee.
They're running back by committee. They're not like one running back. And when you go to Georgia, I mean, they're loaded top to bottom. I mean, you've heard even Dalvin Cook's little brother switching over to putting his name in portal as well to leave. So who knows? There's just too many top running backs there that probably keeps him away. And so I think that's why he went to Alabama.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with Georgia too. They're basically a running back committee. Mm-hmm. You see Michelle and Michelle both balling out. Swift balling out. This year they had Holyfield balling out. It's crazy.
But I don't think he wants to be a running back by committee. I think he'll go to Alabama. The reason why Alabama's running back by committee is because they don't have elite running back like they used to have. Like
Gurley.
No, Alabama.
Alabama.
And I think Georgia has just too many running backs that are really, really, really good.
Right.
That you can't not play them ball.
Right.
As opposed to Alabama, they have running backs who are good, but they have an O-line who's even better that makes them look better than what they are.
Right.
So I think that he thinks that going out there, he'll be that guy, and then probably one of these running backs are going to leave anyways to the draft. And so he thinks he can be that guy and win the Heisman, I guess.
I think the biggest surprise for this early signing day, for me personally, was the fact that, I don't know, what was the quarterback name? He was committed to Ohio State, and literally in the last second he commits to Georgia. Never visited, barely had contact with them. Out of nowhere, he just commits it. I don't know. I'm not saying that Georgia's doing something wrong. It's just very surprising that somebody has no contact with you, and then you just add on early signing day. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna commit to Georgia.
Was it Mathis? I think it was.
I think it was Mathis.
Yeah, it was Mathis.
Which is
he's the number 9 pro quarterback according to 247.
So that just, I don't know. I'm not saying Georgia's doing something wrong. I don't want anybody coming over here to our podcast and saying that we're attacking them or anything like that. But it's something to keep an eye out.
That. I want to know what the hell Georgia's telling these recruits. what kind of cars they buying them. I want to see how much money they're getting on the stipend. Yeah. I want to know because these guys got the best recruiting class like this year, obviously, and it doesn't even make sense how good it is. I mean,
right after Alabama, of course.
Right. I mean, Nolan Smith, one of the best linebackers / defensive ends, depending on whatever
you want to call it.
Yeah. Then you got Nakobe Dean, linebacker,
who was supposed to go to Ole Miss or Mississippi State, I thought.
Then they got another D tackle, Trayvon Walker, big time. But these are all 5 stars. And then just happens to be that Justin Fields puts his name in portal, and then they get this guy who's never been to Georgia. Like, how do you make that decision?
Exactly.
As a recruit, I just don't see how. I mean, I get it. Georgia's a top school, but let's not pretend
so
Ohio State.
Let's
not pretend Ohio State's not a recruit. So I need to talk to Kirby Smart. Kirby, you can shoot me a DM. Hey, I'm trying to get like you, Kirby, because you're getting everything out there. I need to tell Dan Mullen a couple things. Shit.
For sure.
But it's all about being comfortable as a recruit.
Who?
You know what I mean? As a recruit, it's all about being comfortable. Like, okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to be comfortable here. Like, they have a plan for me.
Exactly.
So he could have had no conversation. He could be going there and they're just going to be like, we don't know what to do with you here because we never had contact with you.
Yeah, he's a pretty high recruit. I mean, not that his position at quarterback, he's 6'6", 205. Like,
he gets a size.
I don't really know. I don't know if Georgia switched, pretty much doing like a little trade, and you get Justin Fields and we get Dwan Mathis. I mean, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
How do you,
the last second you switched.
Yeah, you can't. I don't get how you committed somewhere and you never been to the damn school.
And the thing is, the other thing I saw on Nolan Smith, I think it was his Instagram story. He has a Ford Raptor of the year. This is a $70,000 truck out of nowhere on early signing day. Come on now. You can't possibly tell me that there's nothing suspicious
there. Is
there.
it his family? Is his family
maybe
rich?
his family. Bro, who cares? I don't know what his family probably got money.
Come on now.
Hey, Kirby, man. You do your thing, bro.
Hell nah. Don't do his thing.
But what about Texas A&M? Because SEC had the top 4 in recruiting classes. They had Alabama, Georgia, A&M, and LSU. So A&M got some pretty big people too.
Dog. This man, Jimbo Fisher, is really the GOAT. This man... He's been able to do so much recruiting at Florida State, not Texas A&M after 1 year. Like, to me, that shit's... Jimbo's just good with people, I guess, bro. I mean, they had a pretty solid year for his first year at Texas A&M, and being in the West, being such a tough, and a lot of their games were kind of close. So I think Jimbo's doing a great job there, and obviously getting a top 5 recruiting class. Mm-hmm. And stealing, he just got Derek Hunter from... FSU, like, took him straight from underneath him within the last week and a half. Like, that's that's just good recruiting.
He's just a good coach. I've always thought that Jimbo Fisher was a good coach, but that just shows that you put a good coach in Texas A&M, you're gonna recruit the hell out of Texas.
Yeah, that's where most of the recruits are getting out of Texas, which hurts Texas.
But Texas is not doing that bad either. I mean, they're ninth.
They're ninth, but these guys are getting the top of every position basically.
Mm-hmm.
They got the best offensive tackle in the state, got the fourth best defensive tackle in the state, safety.
Just really big recruits.
Tight end.
All around.
Yeah. All Texas. They're definitely recruiting their state the best. And we all know the top three states. Top four are California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida when it comes to recruits. And that's obviously my opinion. But if you look at ESPN 300, you see the most kids come from Florida, Texas, Georgia, and California. So the fact that he's been able to recruit and stay already after 1 year or 1.5, I guess you give him last year too, then he's doing a good job. And he even got Elijah Blaze to sign with him too, and he was a big recruit from 2 years ago. So
Elijah Blaze.
So,
but yeah, he did good this year. I mean, yeah, I think
they won how many games? 8. They went 8-4, and he's already having that third ranked.
Right.
Recruiting class.
Yeah, they beat LSU, and that was a good game. I watched that game. It
was like
6
8 overtimes.
Yeah,
something like
7 or 8 overtimes, and
I thought it was a basketball score.
Highest score in college football game.
I thought it was a basketball game, man. That was crazy.
That's crazy. So to think about that, I mean, we're looking at 4 of the top 5 teams are SEC schools. The fourth being LSU.
LSU had a big recruiting class.
Yeah,
and I think that comes from Ed Orgeron just being like Ed Orgeron.
Mm-hmm.
He's being a cool dude. I think he's a person coach. He's out there. I don't know if you guys seen him on Twitter. Telling his players to stop the practice, yelling at him because he's trying. I got a press conference. Stop. But he's a funny guy, and he also can recruit in his state, Louisiana. They have a couple dimes here and there, especially for the athlete positions. So he's done a good job there.
Like Derek Stingley.
Yeah, their top 3 recruits were all 5 stars, all from Louisiana. So he locked down his state most definitely.
That's good. That's good. And that just shows you, like, if you have a decent year, that saves your job and that saves your recruiting class. Because last year, mid-season, they were thinking about firing him.
Right.
So.
But I think one of the biggest recruits is definitely Siaki Ika.
Biggest. I see what you did there.
Yeah, biggest. Yeah, he's a big boy. And
6'3", 350.
As a Florida fan, I wish we could get him, but I mean, I gotta respect that he kind of stayed loyal to who came to him first. And LSU is obviously a good school, and they produce great defensive players to the NFL. So, I mean, good business decision, and that's where he felt like home. Got to respect it. And I think he's going to be a big-time player at LSU.
But definitely Florida should have been on that from the beginning. His family was with Florida. They voted for Florida, but he took it for who recruited him and who he felt more comfortable with.
Yeah, and then from what I heard was that his family actually did a pros and cons thing between LSU and Florida. And they all stayed up the night before signing day, and I think they said they were up to like midnight, maybe later, all sitting around the room, all his family. And they said everything good about LSU, everything bad, everything good about Florida, everything bad. And Florida actually won the pros and cons competition with LSU. But then for some reason, I don't know why, but on signing day he chose LSU, even though him and his family all basically agreed that Florida was the choice, just because based on their own system, on the system they created, and yet he still chose LSU, which I don't understand. I think that's pretty crazy that you basically go against what you all agreed upon.
It is, and I mean,
but,
in the video you can see that he kind of hesitated a little bit to the Florida or the LSU.
Yeah, but those pros and cons are all mental things. Just sometimes people just follow their heart. Like if that's what your heart tells you, shit, do that shit. That's what you're gonna be happy. You're gonna have the most success.
Big facts.
I'm not trying to be an angry Florida fan though. I'm just reporting what I
Hey,
heard.
no. Hey, JC over here. Josh he's the inside source, man. Like he's got some good knowledge for us. So he'll definitely be on here pretty much from here on out. And he got some good, not just skaters, but that can relate to other SEC schools.
For sure. And then we do have another person coming in. His name's Omar. We basically were the ones that came up with the idea of making this podcast. He's just been kind of busy with work. He's been on vacation as well. But he will be here soon.
Hey, he's in the Army,
keep on
so
that.
shout out to all our veterans out there. We appreciate your service.
For sure. Thank you very much.
But one thing I want to say real quick too, while I'm ranting about Florida, with Chris Steele, I really think we're gonna get him. Like even 247 saying we got a 46% chance. I know it's hard for people from California to come all the way to Florida too. That's a pretty even though
It's
it
a
doesn't
big
matter,
drastic move.
It is, but I really believe just from how we need DBs right now, just because we were kind of depleted. Like a guy like Chris Steele doesn't matter even if we sign. I don't know how many DBs we signed this class so
Cornerbacks
far.
right now, we only have one.
Yeah,
We have
so,
one cornerback.
But I think he can compete instantly.
Yeah, we have
He's
one.
just that talented, along with Elam.
He
too, but I
probably
really
he
think
probably
Steele-
could, but he'll probably play nickel.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, we got two studs out there at corner, and I think that one of them will be a first-round pick. I thought if Marco didn't get hurt, I thought they would be both be first-round picks. But I think
You can't forget Trey Dean.
Trey
He
Dean's
had
out
a
there.
Good solid year.
He grew
Yeah,
up
he
as
did.
he went. In the beginning, it was a little shaky. You could tell definitely he was a true freshman. But as he went on, he got his first pick against Florida State. That's not a bad place to get your first pick.
Wow, that's the best place to get your first pick. All up in Doak's face. Yeah,
Or even
but-
Zook Field.
No, I don't know. Hey, chill out. Hey.
But yeah, I honestly think we have Elam on lock. I think that corner. I think he's a 4-star. Who?
Yeah.
Elam.
Elam is a really high 4-star. We definitely need him.
I think we definitely
that's
have him.
baby Elam right there.
Yeah.
We need him. Come on.
I think we got Steele.
I think we'll get Steele. I think we'll get them both. I would love that. That would help out recruiting class, and I mean, just great defensive players. Keep it rolling. Have a good rotation, and eventually everybody's gonna get their fair share. But continuing with recruiting, I mean, top 10, top 4 were obviously SEC schools, and then
Oregon's
after
having
that,
a good class.
After that, it goes Clemson, Oregon, Oklahoma, Michigan, Texas at 9, and then Penn State at 10. I think Oregon's probably the most surprising one to be out there. They had a great class. And then Clemson, again, I mean, they had all 27 of their people sign up in the beginning. And, Dabo Sweeney.
He's just like Jimbo Fisher.
The guy's amazing. I mean, obviously they're going to run through the ACC probably I don't know how long, especially depending on how long as long as Willie Taggart's at FSU, you could count Clemson being, the head honcho there for a while. I mean, their recruiting is just out of this. 27 people signed a letter of intent on early signing day. Second year in a row, they have all their commits, signed on early signing day. That's ridiculous. He's really, whatever he's been telling these recruits, he's sold them all, and he's all up in Florida, Georgia area.
I'm tired of that shit, though. I'm tired of Clemson taking all these athletes from Florida, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's all over the country: Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Virginia, California. I mean, they're just bulking up pretty much everywhere. I know their top couple recruits were defensive back, which has always been a need for them. For some reason, it seems like probably this next year coming up, they'll reload again on defensive tackles and stuff like that. I think the biggest one that hurt pretty much anybody in Florida was William Putnam going to Clemson, one of the best offensive guards right now. So that was a big get for them. I know it hurt all Florida schools just because, he was kind of flirting with a lot of people.
I think it's because the state of Florida as itself is up for grabs, really, for recruits. You know what I mean? There's no one locking it down.
Especially right now.
Right.
Because Miami, trash right now.
Yeah.
FSU, trash.
Right.
Florida,
UF,
getting out of trash.
getting out of trash.
I mean, and then if you got people thinking UCF out here as a top school.
They have the 49th ranked class.
Yeah, I mean.
Fuck out of here with UCF here.
Relax. Y'all boys got to relax at UCF. I mean, once y'all start playing big boys. Hey, shout out to USF for taking that 2-for-1 with the Gators. Big respect.
USF?
USF.
USF.
They took that. And I think that'll be big for USF in the long term.
It
UCF.
is, especially when they have that stadium they're building for their own. So
Yeah. It really helps them out no matter what.
Yeah, I think
If they
UCF,
get a win, wow, we beat Florida. If you lose,
Exactly.
no matter what, we still play Florida, got a
Play
bunch
Florida.
of attention.
just a
And you
recognition.
got money.
Yeah, you get the money. But UCF, very disappointed. I mean, they wonder why the committee doesn't look at their strength of schedule. I mean, UF or pretty much any SEC team, ACC team at the top of, their upper half doesn't need a UCF on their schedule to boost up their, strength of schedule. I'm like, hey, this is my resume to the committee. Nobody needs UCF. I hate to say it.
Right.
And UCF needs anybody they can get, and if they could get a Florida, like I don't get why not. If you guys think you guys could win, like shit, take that.
If you beat them, it looks good. If you lose to them, you still got money. You still got attention.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it. Like you guys think you guys are somebody, but you're not. Like this is the thing. I was rooting for UCF.
Me too.
Like I wanted
Especially
them to be great. Like,
Auburn.
hey, UCF is. You guys are doing awesome. Like I was all for it. Florida, small school doing big things. But you fans make me sick. Like y'all make me sick. Y'all almost worse than Cowboy fans right now. That's the thing a lot. So y'all need to relax. Y'all lucky LSU's sitting out like 10 guys. I still need LSU to beat that ass just because you guys are just getting too much air up in your head. I'm glad y'all are being successful, and I loved it up until you guys start getting cocky and thinking you guys are national champions. So,
I agree with that one too. Like, I rooted for UCF versus Auburn. Small school coming out of nowhere, looking good, and I'm like, okay, look, hopefully they win, and hopefully they do become a powerhouse. But you don't become a powerhouse after
2 seasons.
You go after 2 seasons where.
Yeah,
one you went 7-5.
They didn't win a single game.
The year before that one, they went 0-12.
Yeah.
And then this year you go 13-0 with a trash ass conference, and you think you're big stuff. Like, just take the game.
You didn't win a single game 3 or 4 years ago.
A single game, and you're top 10. They think they're a top 10 powerhouse. You don't become a powerhouse in 3 years. You become a powerhouse after multiple years of competitive play.
Yeah.
And you don't take the deal. You see, USF took it. They're taking advantage of it. So
another state that's up for grabs right now is California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's USC? Where's UCLA? I mean, Oregon's literally picking what they want when they want from California.
Top California guys.
They got the top California corner. Got the top California defensive end in K1 Thibodeau, number 2 now at 24/7. One of the top linebackers in the state of California, offensive tackles. I mean,
that's why I think Chris Steele might come over here.
Micah Pittman
too.
Yeah, good receiver.
Bitch ass too. I'm not going over here. Come home, bro. I'm just kidding. Ball out, man. But California's for sure. That's why I think Chris Steele might come over here, just because it's out for grabs. There's nobody really dominating. He was committed to USC.
Yeah, he decommitted.
He decommitted mid-season.
And his commitment video was all about family and being there and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it must have been. They must
don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
he still might commit again.
Right, he could.
Don't get it twisted. He might be playing all of us. But I think if he actually wants the opportunity to go to the NFL and show his skills, you want to go play with the big boys. Mm-hmm. That's the SEC. So come to Florida, ball out. You are guaranteed to get playing time. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess we'll have to wait until January Bowl.
January
All-Star
5th.
Games, January 5th. And those are the top surprises, really. I mean, versus Oklahoma, obviously, is always going to have a good class. Michigan, I don't know how. They always get good commits. They still can't get over the hump. And Texas had a really good year for them. They're starting to go up in the right direction. And I think that's why they're still top 10.
But now for some bowl games. I don't really remember what we predicted for the bowl games last time.
Yeah, we should get like a record here.
Yeah, we should get a record. I know Utah State we both picked. They won.
Man, I think I remember most of my things. If I could just, pull this thing up right quick, because I didn't have a great bowl predictions. Besides Utah State, hey, only one I was confident about was Utah State, and they put the points all over them boys. So
I think
what did you guys say? Tulane in Louisiana.
Eddie got that right.
Yeah, I got that one.
I had Louisiana, and I
had Tulane for sure.
So,
and then Utah State, we both picked them. I don't know for
Fresno
sure.
State or Arizona State.
I picked Arizona State.
I had Fresno State.
Yeah, Fresno State won. Georgia Southern and Eastern Michigan, I believe.
I had Georgia
Southern.
Yeah,
that was a close game. That was a really good game, actually. So, if you guys got a chance to watch that, right before recording the show, we just watched Florida International in Toledo. We didn't actually make picks on that, just because we would have thought we had a recording done earlier this week. We had guys out of town, vacation and stuff like that. So,
sorry, travelers.
Sorry, travelers. Hey, it's vacation, man. School's out. Got a couple of days off work.
Did South Florida win last night?
South Florida.
Didn't they play last night against Marshall?
I think they were down by a lot.
Yeah, they were down. They lost by 18. I had Marshall.
I don't even know what I
my
had.
brackets. The big surprise to me was Ohio blanking San Diego State. 27-0.
That's what it was. I picked San Diego State.
I think that's the last bowl game that we chose on the show to to pick.
What bowl games we got coming up this weekend?
UAB, big win 37-13 against Northern Illinois. Appalachian State 45-13. We had pretty much both of those.
Hey, go Rock Tops!
Yeah,
My boy Chris Washington out here winning.
we got BYU playing right now against Western Michigan 7-0 in the second quarter. About to go to halftime.
Well, I'm picking.
Who you got in that game?
I got, who was it?
We got BYU and Western Michigan. BYU's up right now.
BYU.
All right, BYU.
Did Toledo beat Florida International?
No, they lost by 3 points.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. It was back and forth.
Yeah, Toledo has some pretty good athletes out
Yeah,
there.
that boy Thompson on Toledo, that receiver.
I need him to the Vikings.
Really good.
I need him on the Vikings. But we got some. What we got going on?
So Saturday, tomorrow, we got a couple games. Obviously, first game will be Memphis Wake Forest. Who you got, Josh?
I would have to go with Wake Forest.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, Wake Forest.
Y'all got Wake Forest?
I'm going Wake Forest.
I'm going with Memphis on this one. I gotta go with Memphis, man. Them boys can score. I don't think Wake Forest is that good. They had first time in a ball game, so I guess we'll see. Probably be high scoring. Pretty horrible defense. I'm gonna go with Memphis on that one. Then that's a 12 o'clock game. 3:30 game. Houston Army. Army 10-2. Houston 8-4.
Ed Oliver's not playing, right?
He's not playing.
I
would probably say he's not playing.
I'm gonna go with the Army just because
shout
that
out
triple
Army,
love. Shout out to Omar.
Man, I'm an outcast, so I'm gonna go Houston.
Yeah.
If Kendall Braz is still there, I mean, I don't see why he
yeah.
wouldn't be up. Shit, I haven't heard any news as of today that he's being hired, so I'm gonna go with.
I just need
Houston.
them Army boys
Yeah, I'm
to
going
win a
for
ball
Army.
game.
I'm going for
I'm just rooting for them.
Okay. I'm going with Houston though. Then 7 o'clock game, Buffalo and Troy.
Ugh. I'll go Troy. I feel like Troy always. I mean, they might not have the best record, but I feel like Troy always competes.
I know
when they
Troy
play.
got one of them B-holes boys, so I'm just kidding. I'll go with Buffalo. I'll go with Buffalo this
I'm
one.
actually going with Buffalo on this as well. Then the late game, it's gonna be in Hawaii versus Louisiana Tech.
I got Hawaii.
I'm going Hawaii as well.
I
Hawaii
agree.
got that.
Got the
Hawaii.
home field advantage.
Finally, we pick one.
Got the home field advantage, and first time they've been in a bowl game in a little bit. So,
So if you're listening,
Hawaii.
bet on Hawaii since all three of us agreed.
But yeah, bet on Hawaii. And put a rack on that. Hey, you got it. And then we'll go with Wednesdays up until Wednesday. Boston College and Boise State. That'll be the 26th, day after Christmas.
Boston College.
Boston College or Boise State? I got Boise State.
I'm gonna go with Boise on that too. I don't know. To me, the ACC just kind of white.
Yeah.
A little white.
No, don't worry, but FSU beat the conference champions, Boston College. Hell no, get the hell out of here. They thought they won the damn championship when they beat them.
Nah, so I'm gonna go with, like I said,
I got Boise State.
Then we got another matchup, Minnesota, Georgia Tech. I'm actually going with Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I
Georgia
agree.
Tech.
Last game for their coach.
Yeah.
He just retired, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they're
go with
gonna
Georgia
win.
Tech.
Georgia Tech.
And then interesting matchup, last game of the night, California and TCU. Both hella underperformed.
I got Cal.
Yeah, Cal. I don't think the TCU quarterback's even playing, right? No, he wasn't playing anyways.
Yeah.
So
Now I'm gonna go with Cal.
I'm gonna go with Cal as well.
But we can go through Thursday.
Up to Thursday, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a good matchup on Thursday, yeah. Temple Duke.
Well, I just
got
visited Duke, so I'm gonna go to Duke.
Duke. Yeah, I got Duke.
You were in North Carolina. How was that?
It was nice, man. It was definitely, I don't know. It was really comfortable
Cold?
out there. No, it wasn't cold.
Oh, okay, good.
I hate the cold down here though, because down here is like the cold wet,
Uh-huh.
like wet cold, whatever the
Yeah.
hell it is. Over there was a 50, and I felt like it was maybe 60,
Right.
65. But it was really pretty. I visited the Duke Stadium. I tried to get into the basketball one, but that was locked down.
Fort Knox.
Yeah, I seen
Locked
you
down.
took a picture and you had the UNC filter. And it was on Wednesday, and you were like, "Oh, Sam Howell's new home at,
Hey.
at FSU."
I just have to show it out, specifically to Seabass.
Mm-hmm.
And for all you guys that are asking, who the hell is this guy Seabass? This is one of our best friends, but he's a big FSU fan since he got into college, and all he does is trash UF and all this stuff. But we finally beat him, so now we're gonna.
He's a big hater.
A big hater out here, so we're gonna rub it in his face that Sam Howell decommitted from them. But UNC, I went to UNC.
I heard Sam Howell wants to compete for ACC championships, and that's part of the reason why he went. I mean, hey, that's just what some of my insiders told me. Like no cap, but I'm just that's just what I heard, man.
But yeah, and UNC has a really, I don't know if you guys been there, but their campuses are really beautiful.
Chapel Hill
is really nice. I was in Raleigh but I didn't get to go see NC State versus. They played somebody in basketball. It was a big game. It was really busy.
Last year I went to Clemson Stadium and that was pretty nice. It's kind of weird how it's like in a hole basically.
That's how Duke is. Duke is literally down like in a hole. I'm like, how does that even happen? But it was really cool. It was really pretty up there. Definitely go check it out.
Carolinas.
I'm gonna go back to the picks. So then that's the early game. Then we got the 5:00 game, Wisconsin and Miami. Miami. Dog. If Jonathan Taylor's playing, which I don't know, but I got Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's gonna go 2-0 again.
Versus Miami.
In bowl games against Miami the last 2 years. So I got them.
I'll roll with that.
I don't know, man. I kind of want Miami to win just because they're just doing awful. So I'll go with Miami.
I got Wisconsin.
Yeah, I got to stick with Wisconsin. And then the 9:00 game, we got Baylor and Vanderbilt. 2 6-6 teams in Houston, Texas.
For sure, Vandy.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Vandy, and there's just
SEC.
SEC.
Something like that. So I think Vandy is just a better team. I don't know anything about Baylor, but.
And then we are going to be dropping the podcast, or we're going to be recording before Friday, and we'll talk about the next upcoming bowl games.
Vandy running back, did he hit 1K?
Which one?
Yeah, I think he might have.
Who got 1K?
The Vanderbilt running back?
Yeah.
I think he hit 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I don't know. Vandy had a pretty
good year, replacing Ralph Webb, who was excellent running back in the SEC and even better. Yeah, he did. He had 1,001 yards.
Wow, look at that.
I need Vandy to tighten up and update your facilities. Everybody out here has a decent stadium, good money going into their stadiums and football, and you guys want to waste it on something else that's not football. Spend some money. You'll start getting recruits. You'll start winning games. Until you don't do that, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Hey, man, you go to Vanderbilt to get a degree.
Yeah, they're smart.
Well, then they need to take their ass out of the SEC.
Yikes.
Go to the SEC, you're not for a degree. You're here to play football.
Damn right. I'm just kidding, bro. Nah, I'm not. For real, like, spend some money. I actually don't. Yeah. I don't hate Vandy.
No, they're
a good school for sure. Academically, they play hard, but they don't have the players to consistently win 8-9 games.
They tried to fight Florida this year. Remember?
They did do that.
Coaches John at each other.
Yeah, but it was all respect at the end.
It was. Sure.
Good thing about
it. Like I said, I don't hate Vandy. I just need them to come
on. Man, we're talking about a Vanderbilt team that's 6-6 in the SEC, or a Baylor team 6-6 in the Big 12, whatever the hell they are. So I mean, I'm okay with Vanderbilt as long as they're being competitive, which they give you.
They play hard.
Pretty competitive against teams that aren't Alabama. So. I don't mind it. They keep the GPA up in the conference, so we appreciate that. And
shout out to the GPA.
They do have good to have other sports, like baseball's always been good, basketball's been good several years. So it's just football.
But they spend money on those.
Yeah, because there's only 10 players on each team. Shit, you can spend money easily on that.
Spend money on that, bro.
No, I'm okay with them shit. I don't need no more competition, man. The SEC is
we need more competition.
Georgia's enough as is, bro.
We need to rub it in on everyone else, especially ACC fans, especially Seabass.
Y'all got to relax in the ACC. Just Florida State. We don't fuck with Florida State, man. Or Miami fans.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding. We like it all. It's all fun and games. It's just good competitive atmosphere, and rivalry is always good. So
upcoming weeks we are gonna be having some special guests. Somebody hit me up out of nowhere. I haven't talked to them since middle school. He hit me up saying that he liked our podcast. He was giving me like advice to get more more followers and everything like that. He said, "Can you please put me on the podcast? I'll talk crap about FSU because he's a Florida Gator fan too." But not only that, but he is gonna be he is a good insider and he loves football. Like,
and if you do want to talk, hit us up at CollegeFBlive on Instagram or Twitter.
We need FSU fans.
We want FSU fans. Hey, we want all that smoke. We want FSU. We want Miami. We want Clemson. If you're a Bama fan, I want that smoke.
Especially if you're a Georgia fan.
If you're a Georgia fan, I really want that smoke. Hey, chill out. Hey.
And UCF fans specifically.
Everyone.
Everyone, college football, hey, hit us up. I'm down to talk. You know, shit. Argue your point. Argue mine. It's going to be fun. But we want to hear all everyone's opinion. You know, we're heavily based right here, SEC Nation and state of Florida. We're all about that. ACC as well is kind of close here that we can keep up with. So y'all hit us up from wherever, and we're good with that.
So if you guys are listening to us on the Anchor app, you can actually send voice chats in, and we could probably include that into our podcast next time. So if you guys really want to send an opinion, you're listening to all of our podcasts, please, you know, even if you have something mean to say or bad to say, we don't care, but it's just a podcast just to have fun. So for sure, send it to us, DM us, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. You could probably email us, but it doesn't really matter. Just contact us, man. We need all the followers. We're trying to get this thing popping. And we'll see you next week.